Okay. So I am sharing the notes in the group. Please share your any one of you. Please share your screen. Am I audible now properly?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes. I've shared the notes in the group. Please share any one of you. Please share your screen, and we will start today. Muscular system. Uh,
Ma'am, which
uh,
cartilage is present in rib cage, ma'am?
oh, okay. let let you find the answer. Then we will remember the answer. If I will tell you right now, then you will not remember the answer. You will get it easily. Let you find the answer and let me know. Okay. Tomorrow morning, you will be answering me. Okay. Anyone is presenting screen? Let me try myself.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start. Muscular system. Today we will start from muscular system. So, a muscle consists of elongated fibers of muscle cells called muscle fibers surrounded by protective tissue. Okay, means each single muscle cell is known as muscle fiber. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So each single muscle cell is known as muscle fiber. And these each muscle fiber are also protected by a protective tissue. So muscle has two ends that each attach to bone, the muscle's origin and muscle's insertion. Okay, means each muscle fiber or each bundle of muscle fiber having two ends. One is attached to, means both the ends are attached to bones, and one end is known as origin of muscle and another end is known as muscle's insertion. Means one end is known as origin because it is assumed that from this portion the muscle is getting originated, and at the last, means the another end denotes that uh, in that portion the muscle is getting inserted again to bone. Now, at both of these points, tendons attach the muscle to bone. So, what are tendons? Please answer fast. Yes.
Tendons are attached muscle to bone.
Yes. Tendons are which type of tissue?
Connective tissue.
Yes, very good. Tendons are connective tissue which attach muscle to bones. So here we can find tendons which are attaching the or connecting the muscle to bone. So at both the ends of muscle we can find tendons which are attaching the muscles to bones. Now, muscle origin refers to a muscle's proximal attachment. Yes. Again, proximal is the term which is very similar to medial. Means proximal means towards the midline of body, and opposite of proximal is distal. 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 So distal means away from midline of body. Okay. So, muscle origin refers to muscle's proximal attachment. So, it is assumed that from which portion muscle is originated, that is more close to midline of body. It is originated, means it is assumed. It's not always true, but it is assumed that muscle origin refers to a muscle's proximal attachment. Muscle is a group of muscle tissue which contract together to produce a force. Okay, so muscles are group of muscle tissues which are made up of group of muscle cells or muscle fibers. We have already learned that muscle cells, each muscle cell is also known as muscle fiber. So we learn later how the muscle cells are grouping and making muscle tissue. Muscular system is made of different types of muscles and has several functions. About 650 muscles in human body. Muscles make up approximately 40% of total weight. Okay, so the weight of our body is almost means almost by muscles only, and they are providing, means they are consisting 40% of our body weight. So it's a huge amount. Means if anybody is having 100 kilos of weight, then 40% of that is muscles. 40 kg of that weight is of muscles. If the body is fit, otherwise if fat is more or anything is more, then it may vary, but in general 40% of body weight is made up of muscles. Now, structure of muscles. Muscle is arranged in a basic pattern of bundled fibers separated by protective layers. Now, we will learn about all the layers or how muscle fibers are getting bundled. First of all, epimysium. Epimysium is the covering. The entire muscle is covered in connective tissue sheath called epimysium. A tough connective tissue similar to cartilage. It separates the muscle from nearby tissue and organs. The epimysium is a dense layer of collagen fibers and surrounds the entire muscle. So let me go to the picture. Yes, this one. Here. Here you can get the clear concept of the covering and muscle fibers. The outermost covering of this whole bundle, you can see can you see the figure clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So I hope you can see the transparent outer covering of the muscle bundle. The whole muscle, you can see here, the whole muscle bundle is divided into different parts. So we will learn all these parts. So the outer covering of this whole muscle bundle is known as epimysium. And what what these epimysium is made up of? It is made up of dense cartilage, dense collagen fibers. Dense layer of collagen fibers is making the epimysium, and it is separating the muscle from nearby tissue and organs. Okay. Next is perimysium, a bundle of muscle fiber called fascicle. These fascicles are surrounded by their own connective tissue or protective layer called perimysium. So, what it is written here, a bundle of muscle fibers called fascicles. So, see here, the single muscle fiber or single cell, which is in the middle of this picture, you can see here. How can I? Yes, yes. This one you can see. You can see my screen. I'm penning my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this one is single muscle fiber or single cell. We have already learned that muscle fiber is a single cell of muscle. So this one is single cell or muscle fiber. So when a collection of muscle fiber or bundle of muscle fiber is there, it is known as fascicle. Okay. So this one is fascicle. Now here you can see this one is also a fascicle, this one is also a fascicle. Let me change the color. This one is also a fascicle, this one also a fascicle, this one, and behind this fascicle you can also see. So these are the fascicles. Fascicles are the group of muscle fibers. So these fascicles are covered by perimysium. Okay? Now, yes. A bundle of muscle fibers called fascicle. These fascicles are uh, surrounded by their own connective protective layer called perimysium. The perimysium divides the muscles into a series of compartments. Each compartment contains a bundle of muscle fibers called fascicle. So I think you got the concept of single muscle fiber, and single muscle means group of muscle fibers is making fascicle. That fascicle is covered by perimysium, and uh, these bundle of fascicles are making one muscle. So that muscle is covered by epimysium. Now, next is endomysium, right? Endomysium is endomysium is the covering of single muscle fiber. Okay, so at first we have seen that epimysium is the covering of whole muscle. Perimysium is the covering of bundle of fascicle, means perimysium is the covering of fascicle. Now, endomysium is the covering of single muscle fiber. So, if we go in ascending order, then at first we can find a single muscle fiber, that is the muscle cell, that is covered by endomysium, then bundle of muscle fibers making fascicle, that fascicle is covered by perimysium. Next, bundle of fascicles is making a single muscle. Now this muscle is covered by epimysium. I think this is clear now. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now here in this picture you can see how tendon is attaching the muscle to bone. This white colored portion which is connecting the bone to muscle is tendon. Okay. Next. How do I move this one? Types of muscles. I think we have went through these types earlier during tissue. Once again, we will just repeat in brief. So, types of muscles are three in general. Those are skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle. So, skeletal muscles are voluntary and striated muscles. They are cylindrical in shape and structure. Cells are long, striated. Multinuclear cells means only one nucleus is present in single muscle fiber. Help in locomotion. Locomotion means movement of our body, or walk means displacement of our body. And under voluntary control, these muscles walk. For example, neck, shoulder, limbs, back, biceps, triceps, hamstring. This is an example of skeletal muscle, and here you can see picture of skeletal muscle, how they are striated and they are almost cylindrical in shape. We are just revising out. I hope you have the concept earlier because we have already discussed. Next is smooth muscle, known as involuntary or smooth or non-striated or visceral muscles. They are long spindle-shaped structure located in walls of hollow visceral organs except the heart. Mononuclear cells. Mononuclear cells means only one nucleus is present in one single cell. Under involuntary control, yes, we cannot control the smooth muscles. We cannot increase or decrease our peristalsis, right? And next is, for example, muscle in the wall of stomach, urinary bladder, liver, lungs, kidney. These are the all example of smooth muscles. Next is cardiac muscle, known as heart muscle or myocardium. Myo word comes from muscle. So muscles of cardium means heart, is known as myocardium. Located in the walls of the heart, branching striated cells. Now, muscles in heart is having a special quality that they are branched and striated as like skeletal muscles. Under involuntary control, Obviously we cannot control our heart, but by pranayam we can control. So this is the beauty of yoga. With the help of pranayam we can also control the activity of our heart. Next is function is to pump blood, that is involuntary. Contraction of this muscle helps in pumping the blood throughout the body. So this muscle can only be found in heart only. Is all the concept clear for types? If there is any problem, any doubt, any confusion, you can ask.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. Now, introduction to main muscles of body. We will learn here the main muscles of body. Now, here is some movements regarding anatomical posture. Uh, Flexion, extension, we have already discussed that when angle is reducing, it is flexion, and when the angle is increasing, that is extension. And when we are bending our body, then we can see the angle is reducing. Not in case of spine. When we are backward bending, then it is extending from forward. So it is extension of spine. But when we are forward bending, the angle is decreasing from front. So that is flexion of spine. Now, next is abduction. Abduction is moving away from midline. Adduction is moving towards midline. We have already discussed the concept of midline. I hope these terminologies are also clear. So, abduction is moving away from midline and adduction is moving towards midline. Now, this abduction and adduction happens when we are here in this picture. You can see that here, if anyone is raising their hand sidewise, then it is abduction. And then when we are bringing back our hand close to body, that is adduction. Okay, similar in case of legs. When we are moving our legs from midline of body, it is abduction. When we are bringing back our legs towards the midline of body, it is adduction.
Ma'am,
Okay.
same terminology, proximal and distal also, na? Same
No,
terminology.
proximal and distals are not movements. Abduction and adduction is here used in case of movements. Proximal
Okay.
and distals are already located. Those are not movements. Like your in anatomical posture, your little finger is proximal to, means little finger is proximal. Okay. This terminology is enough that that organ is located towards the midline. So, in anatomical posture, your little finger is proximal and thumb finger is distal. Here, no movement is occurring. But in case of abduction and adduction, abduction is away from midline, adduction is towards midline. And here you can say that lateral and medial are almost same. So lateral and median are used in case of rotation, or also you can see in case of movements. But um, yes, so these are almost similar terminology, away from midline and towards midline. Next is lateral rotation. We have already learned this. Rotating movement away from midline. Okay. So lateral and medial are rotations. And abduction and adductions are just straight movements. Means in like when we are raising our hands sidewise, we are not rotating. When we are raising our hands sidewise as like preparatory practice for that trikonasana. What do we do in trikonasana? At first, we abduct our legs, right? We take a gap between our legs. We at first apart our legs from the midline of body. That is abduction of legs. Then we abduct our hands. We raise our hands from sidewise. Then we bend from either right side or left side. So this is abduction. But when we are rotating our limbs, then it will be lateral and medial. If we are rotating away from midline, then it is lateral. If we are rotating towards midline, then it is medial. Now, next is circumduction. Circumduction is moving in a circle at a joint. So, for example, when we are um, making circles by our hands or by our legs, then it is circumduction. Or when we are rotating our waist, then also means the movement by which a circle is made, that is circumduction. In case of neck movement also, when we do full rotation of our head from neck, that is also circumduction. Means any movement which is forming a circle, that is circumduction. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Here in this picture, you can see medial and lateral rotation. From elbow, we are rotating medially and laterally. The same case in same thing in case of knee also. We have a very little medial and lateral movement of elbow and knee. Now, these are the some important muscles we have to learn. Okay. These are muscles of back side. We have to learn all these muscles. Now, first of all, frontalis muscle. Origin of this frontalis muscle is epicranial aponeurosis. And insertion of this frontalis muscle is skin of eyebrow and roof of the nose. So, you can see here in this picture. The origin of this muscle is from this skull, and the insertion is at the eyebrow center. So means this frontalis muscle is forming our forehead. Frontalis muscle is located in our forehead. So yes, Epicranial aponeurosis is the origin of frontalis muscle and insertion is the skin of eyebrow and roof of. Now, action. What action does it play? It elevates eyebrows and wrinkles skin of forehead. So when we are widening our eyes open, then this muscle is acting as contractor. Means this muscle is contracting and our eyes can be widened. Means it is elevating our eyebrows and wrinkling our forehead. Frontalis muscle covers part of the forehead of skull. It has a part of occipitofrontalis muscle along with occipital muscles. Occipital is the back of head. Means occipital region is the back of head region. Now we will learn about occipitalis muscle. The origin of occipital and temporal bones. We have already learned the occipital bone. Where is the occipital bone present?
Behind the skull means our head, behind the head.
Okay, I hope you remember. So, I think you got the concept and you are trying well. That is at the back side of head and at the bottom. So at the bottom of back side of head, occipital bone is present, and that portion is also known as occipital region. So occipitalis muscle is also present there. Occipital and temporal bones are the origin muscle. Insertion is epicranial. It posteriorly. The posterior muscle part, frontalis muscle, along with the frontalis muscle. You don't have to go very deep about these muscles. Whatever written in the slide is more than enough for you. Okay, just get the concept. Here it is a clear structure of face muscles. Here you can see frontalis muscle, that it is originated from epicranial aponeurosis. Means this white part you can see here, this white part is known as epicranial aponeurosis, and from these frontalis muscle is originating and it is inserting into the eyebrow center, or skin of eyebrow. Means it is forming a forehead, and at the back side of head you can see occipitalis muscle. Now at the side of our head or our ear region is known as temporal region. Here temporal bone is also present. Now this temporalis muscle is covering temporal bone. Here you can see clearly how temporalis muscle is covering temporal bone. Now, origin of temporalis muscle is temporal fossa or temporal bone, and insertion is coronoid process of mandible located at sorry located at the temporal bone in the skull. Now, this one is a very important muscle and play a very important role in our body.
Ma'am,
That is,
sorry to disturb. I'm sorry
yes.
to disturb. Why it is showing in white in color in the picture? Just
Which one?
the muscles color. the cranial. Uh,
Okay, the white colors you see in between muscles are the tendons. Okay,
okay, okay,
everywhere you can see in between the muscles, white color portion. Those are the tendons which are connecting muscles to bone.
okay, okay, ma'am. Yes, thank you.
Okay, now the very important muscle we are going to learn is sternocleidomastoid muscle. This muscle is originating at the manubrium of sternum. Here you can see manubrium is the uppermost part of sternum. You remember sternum? What is sternum?
The breastbone.
Yes, it is the chest bone which is connecting all the rib bones, or it is connecting the rib cage. So it is located at the middle of our chest. The uppermost portion of sternum, we have already learned that sternum is also divided into three parts. So the uppermost portion of sternum is known as manubrium. So this sternocleidomastoid muscle is originating from the manubrium of sternum. Here you can see it is depicted by red colored arrows. And insertion of this muscle is mastoid process of temporal bone. You can see in this picture clearly. Let me take the pens. Yes. So here, sorry, in this picture, you see that this one is frontal bone and this one is temporal bone, right? So this sternocleidomastoid muscle is originating from manubrium of sternum and it is inserting in the mastoid process of temporal bone. You can see it is going to the temporal bone and it is originating there. Now, action of this muscle turns the head. When we are turning our head from left to right or any side of our body, we are turning our head, then this muscle is acting. When the both muscle contract at the same time, they flex the cervical vertebrae or draw the sternum and clavicles upward when the head is maintained in fixed position. Means uh, it is also present in both, means this muscle we can see is present in the right side in this picture, but it is present in both side in our body, right? So we can find two sternocleidomastoid muscles in our body. So when both muscles contract at the same time, they flex the cervical vertebrae or draw the sternum and clavicles upward. Means when we are breathing, in, means when we are inhaling deep and long, then our lungs are getting filled with air. At that time, the clavicles and sternum is lifting upward, right? Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So when we are inhaling deep and long, then the lungs are filled with air, lungs are getting larger, and at that time the clavicles and sternum is uplifting, and at that time this sternocleidomastoid muscle is getting contracted. So it is a very important role in breathing. Okay, next is. Next muscle is latissimus dorsi muscle. So this latissimus dorsi muscle is one of the largest muscle in our upper body. And where it is present? It is present in our back side. Here in this picture, if you are getting the picture, this is the back side of body where we can see the vertebral column is present, and uh, this latissimus dorsi muscle is present at the lower back of our body. Means not lower back, it is originating from the lower region of vertebra, and this muscle belongs to muscle of scapular motion. Means our scapula. I hope you remember which bone is scapula, right? Which bone is scapula? Please answer.
Ma'am, that he arms and shoulder joints were that scapula.
Yes. So, yes, you are right. So,
Vertebra,
shoulder blade.
serenium, and ilium, madam. Origin of that
Please,
muscles is vertebra, serenium, and ilium.
I'm not getting you. Please repeat clearly.
That origin of muscle is vertebra, serenium, and ilium.
Okay. You're talking about the origin of muscle. I'm not talking about the origin of this muscle. I'm asking about scapula. You remember scapula?
Yes, madam.
Yes. Which bone is known as scapula?
Shoulder blade, no.
Yes, very good. So that shoulder blade, which is present in the upper back of our body, which is the yes, which is the main one of the main bones of our shoulder joint. So our yes, humerus bone is joined with scapular notch only. So this scapular movement, whenever we move our hands, so this scapular movement is obvious. So the scapular movement belongs to this latissimus dorsi muscle. So this muscle is the one of the largest muscles in our upper body. This muscle belongs to muscle subscapular motion. This arises from posterior part of iliac crest and spinous process of lumbar and lower thoracic vertebrae. Here in this picture, you can see that the muscle is originating from iliac. Yes. So here, this bone you can see, this is the iliac bone. Okay. So this latissimus dorsi muscle is originating from this iliac bone, and lower means you can see in this picture that it is rising from posterior part of iliac crest. Crest means the uvra hua portion of that iliac, means the which is making which is giving the mountain like shape of the iliac. That portion is known as crest. So this latissimus dorsi muscle is originating from iliac crest and spinous process of lumbar and lower thoracic vertebrae. Now, spinous process. We've already discussed the shape of vertebra. Do you remember what is spinous process of vertebra?
What, madam? Once again, repeat.
The spinous process of vertebra. This latissimus dorsi muscle is originating from spinous process of vertebra, right? Spinous process of lumbar and lower thoracic vertebrae. So we have already discussed about structure of vertebrae. So if you remember the spinous process, then please let me know what is the spinous process of vertebra. Do you remember? Just
No,
few
ma'am.
days ago, we have completed our skeletal system. There only we have discussed the shape and all these things regarding vertebra. Okay. Let me draw again. So, uh, just assume that this one is our vertebral body, which is present at the front side of vertebra. Then, at behind these five foramen, we can find four cavity. For a spinal cord goes, and this at the back side of that foramen we can find a process, means uh, that is spinous process, and like these two more we can find. This
Ma'am, your voice is breaking. I'm not able to listen.
is it clear now? Is it clear now?
Middle, it is breaking, madam.
We will turn out the class right now after getting this muscle. So is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yes, madam.
Okay. So here. So this one is vertebral body, and this one is the foramen. This one is the spinal process, and these two are the transverse process. Okay. Let me go once again to the skeletal system. Here, see. Can you see the picture clearly?
Yes.
No. Let me go. Yes, here. This is the vertebral body, and here you can see the foramen, through which vertebral foramen, through which the spinal cord will go. Let me take the pen. Yes, here. This is the body. This is the foramen. This is the spinal process, which we can see or which we can feel when we touch the back side of our body. Which when we touch our backbone from the back side of our body, we can feel our spinous process. It can be counted. In many people, it can be counted without touching. You can see just their back. Then it is visible and it is countable. And at the two sides, you can see two transverse processes are present. Okay, so this is the spinous process, which you can see means here in this picture. In this picture, you can see this one is the spinous process. This one. Let me take a look. Yes, this. Oh, this one is the spinous process. It is fused here, right? And in this picture, you can see this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. These are the spinous processes. And this one, this one, this one, these are the transverse processes which are found in sides. Here you can see this is the transverse process fused here. Okay, is it clear? Transverse and spinal process.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, latissimus dorsi is originating from the spinal process of the lower thoracic vertebra and lumbar vertebra and the pubic crest. Sorry, iliac crest. And it passes upwards across the back and then under the arm to be inserted into bicipital groove of humerus. So it is inserting in bicipital groove of humerus. In this picture, you can see it is inserting here, right? It is inserting here. So, origin is from this lower region of thoracic and lumbar vertebra and iliac crest and inserting to humerus. Now, it also known as swingers muscles develop
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Okay. So here we will bound up the class till lattice. You got the concept.
Once you revise, madam, today what you have taught, madam?
Yes.
Once you show the slides, madam, what today you have taught everything.
I have already sent in the group.
No, ma'am,
You
I'm
can go.
not asking that, madam. I'm asking you that, saying you that once revise that what you have taught in today's class.
Okay. Okay. Hello.
Yes, madam, you are audible.
Yes. So we have started muscular today, and we have got the means introduction towards muscular system. That a single cell is known as muscle fiber, and the muscle fiber collection of muscle fiber is known as fascicle, and collection of fascicles are making muscles. So here in this picture you can see a single muscle fiber making fascicle, and group of fascicles are making muscle. So a single muscle fiber is covered by endomysium, and fascicles are covered by a perimysium, and a whole muscle is covered by epimysium. And muscles are connected to bones by tendon. Tendon is a connective tissue, and there are around 650 muscles in human body, more than 650 muscles in human body. And in both the ends of muscle we can find tendons which are connecting muscle to bone. And we have learned today types of muscles. Types are voluntary, those are skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, which are involuntary, and cardiac muscles are the most specialized type of muscle in our body, which is found only in our heart. Then we have learned detail about skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscle. Then we have learned about some movements regarding anatomical body. Then we have went through detailing of few muscles, which are frontalis muscles. Frontalis muscles are present in our forehead. Occipitalis muscles present in our back head. Temporalis muscles present in our ear region or temporal region. Sternocleidomastoid muscle present in our neck region, which is very important, which is important for making our neck movement, and also play a very important role in our breathing process. Next, latissimus dorsi muscle, which is present in our back, or maybe the largest muscle of our upper body, one of the largest muscles of our upper body. So this is the summary of our class today. Any question?
Thank you.
Okay. So let's bind up the class by prayer. Sit straight, close your eyes, adopt Namaskar Mudra in front of your chest. Inhale deep and long and start the prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. Rub your palms. Put those palms on your facial muscles. Feel the warmth. Feel the energy. And open your eyes with a smile. Thank you.
How are you, sir? Mintu, sir?